From time to time, we're all blessed with a lucky day. Perhaps you found something amazing in an unexpected place. Or maybe a guardian angel looking over you saved you from a terrible situation. But have you ever got as insanely lucky as some of the people on this list? I'm Charlie, and today we're going to look at people who were incredibly lucky. If you want today to be a lucky day, then subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming up first, we have Speedy Bird. There's nothing less lucky than opening up your mail and seeing a speeding ticket. Maybe you went slightly above the limit and now you're stuck with a $50 fine. That would have been the case for this driver if it wasn't for Lady Luck and Mother Nature teaming up. In this 1 in a million coincidence, a bird flew right in front of a speed camera. Not only that, it's right where the guy's license plate would be located. This was flagged up manually after the image was taken, but thankfully for the speedy driver, his registration plate was never recovered. Next up is Trapdoor. In 2018, one Reddit user named Primal Number decided to renovate their house. He was finishing up when he realized there was a trapdoor in his basement. He was able to use an Allen key and remove the trapdoor. He later got a locksmith and cracked open the safe. And what he found inside was insanely lucky. There was old documents and a newspaper, as well as some bingo cards dating back decades. There was also an old bottle of beer which had likely gone out of date. But the awesome thing was loads of sacks of cash inside this safe. There was over $4,000 inside this safe. This really makes me want to go down to my basement and check if I have a safe too. You never know what kind of forgetful previous homeowner would have left some cold hard cash inside it. Next up, we have Axed. We all know the movie Final Destination, where people have very near misses. Well, a couple of years back, this movie came to life for one driver. In 2014, a couple were driving down a highway in Massachusetts. That's when an axe fell off the back of a truck driving in front of them. It went hurtling towards the passenger and thankfully hit just at the right moment. This impaled the axe into the dashboard and allowed them to pull over safely. But if this axe was timed wrong, it would have gone straight into the passenger's face. Police said to the landscaper who was driving the truck that if he was going too fast, then he could have caused a serious incident. Hopefully next time he will secure all of his tools. And I sure hope the passenger who avoided almost certain death bought a lottery ticket that day, because it's clearly their lucky day. Next up is Hidden Treasures. You may think of yard sales as an excuse for people to get rid of old junk. And sometimes that is exactly what they are. One day someone's estate was being sold. One elderly worker who didn't have a lot of money went to this sale. That's when an old wooden dressing table caught his eye. After he paid for it, he opened up the drawers to see inside. But to his surprise, instead of it being empty, it was filled with treasures. He'd already bought it, so now it was legally his. Plus, it was an estate sale, so they were happy that he could buy it for a bargain price. Inside was antiques and jewelry which was over 100 years old. There was also many old coins and money from around the world inside it. So it just goes to show, if you see an old wardrobe at a flea market, maybe snap it up, you never know what you may find. Next up is Statue of Cheeto. When you think of the USA, many things come to mind. Quad bikes, fireworks, bikinis, beer. But what about the famous architecture, for example the Statue of Liberty? Despite being built in Paris in the 1920s, this has come to be a staple of American culture. Well, a few years back, the chips brand Cheeto decided to do a promotion. They would put one Cheeto shaped like the Statue of Liberty in a bag. And the prize for whoever found it would be a trip to the Statue of Liberty and $50,000. Well, as you can see, this guy found the winning Cheeto. This guy just made himself a lot of money simply for buying a bag of chips. That's a $49,999 return on their investment. I'm just glad this guy actually noticed the promotion on the bag and didn't just eat this $50,000 chip. Coming up next is Luck Bomb. When you think of having a lucky day, I'm sure it doesn't entail a missile heading right for you. But that's not the case if you're in the army. One day, some army personnel were driving a truck down an empty street. That's when all of a sudden a bomb was dropped right onto their truck. It managed to tear right down the side of the truck and narrowly missed the vehicle. If it hit slightly more to the left, then it could have hit the fuel tank and blown it up. Also, imagine if this hit the passenger or the driver. Looking at what this missile did to the asphalt ground, I'm pretty sure that there wouldn't be much of a driver or passenger to think of. Next up is Tree of Luck. One of the worst things that can happen to your car is a tree falling on it. That's not just because it ruins your car, but also sometimes insurers won't pay out. They will say it's an act of God, so they don't have to pay you any money to repair the car. But check out this incredibly lucky Japanese motorist. When they walked to their car, they thought a tree had fallen right onto it. But when they got closer, they realized it was only 1 inch away. They were able to reverse and drive away from this otherwise very costly situation. I guess Mother Nature and guardian angels love teaming up to save green Peugeots. Also, if you think that's lucky, then check out this piece of double luck. The lucky days of these two drivers both coincided, as neither of their cars were hit by this falling tree. To make things even more unbelievable, this tree was actually struck by lightning, which is why it fell down. Next up is Hero Helmet. Go out on the street and you'll see some people riding motorcycles without a helmet. You may think, would a helmet really save me in the event of a crash? Well, allow me to answer your question with this picture. As you can see, this crash would have taken a piece of this guy's head straight off. But thankfully it simply removed some of his helmet. If this isn't proof that motorcyclists should always wear a helmet, I don't know what is. What you're seeing inside this helmet is not cement, but polycarbonate plastic, fiberglass and Kevlar. This was enough to save the guy who was involved in this collision from any brain damage or even passing away. Next up we have stuck car. The last thing you want when you're driving is to get your car stuck somewhere. That is, unless you're this guy. One person was driving up a mountain when suddenly they lost control of their car. They were heading straight for the edge and it would have been certain doom, but then thankfully they got stuck on the edge of the cliff. Thankfully, the driver was able to climb out through the window, not knocking the car over. This Mini Cooper near miss happened in the mountains of Belgium. Just imagine this of the driver's perspective of nearly heading down this cliff. The image alone is enough to give me sweaty palms. Coming up next, we have Luck o' the Irish. We all know that one of the most typically Irish things in the world is a 4-leaf clover, and it's also a sign of great luck. One of the reasons why is because it's incredibly rare. You have a 1 in 5 million chance of finding a 4-leaf clover, as most of them have 3 leaves. But if you think that's lucky, then check out what one guy in Russia found. As you can see, they have even more luck with a 5-leaf clover. These are said to attract good luck as well as money. The chance of seeing this is 1 in 20 million. That's because the 4-leaf clover is a mutation of a 3-leaf clover, and a 5-leaf clover is a mutation of a 4-leaf clover, which is even more rare. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Vote in the poll in the top right corner who was the most lucky person on this list. If you want some more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. But as always, thank you for watching. There's some more videos you may like on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.